Hello and welcome to this edition of PC Voyage. I'm Rainey Laviolette.
And I'm Andrew Doty. On today's show, we have Tim Hamlet with question and answers, and Jim Delks with bits and PCs.
Many people have seen computer graphics on TV, in commercials and cartoons. However, few people know the hardware, the software, and the experience required to compose them. Today, we have on hand John and Ted Lilly from Lilly Labs. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. So what are you going to be showing us today?
Today, using a 386 compatible and a Target Plus 64 board, I will demonstrate the capabilities of a PC to create 3D animation, image processing, digital linear keying, digital chroma keying, and various other aspects of the target board.
What software and hardware do you need to make all this happen? You know, you mentioned a target card. What else do you need?
Well, it's recommended that you use a minimum of a 386. I'd say 8 megabytes of RAM, VGA card, 200 megabytes of hard disk space, a Target Plus 64, of course, and anything else that you can possibly afford.
Gentlemen, you mentioned digital linear keying and digital chroma keying. What is it?
Digital linear keying is taking computer animation and placing it over live video. Digital chroma keying is basically just the opposite. That's taking live video and placing computer graphics behind it.
Where's that currently being used today?
Well, digital linear keying is used in like the character generators where you see somebody's name in front of them on CNN News or something like that. And digital chroma keying is used for the weatherman. He stands in front of a blue wall, and the computer takes the live video signal into it and replaces the blue wall with graphics, typically the weather.
Ted, what's the difference between the way cartooning was done years ago and the way it's being done today?
Well, the main role that computers play in today's cartoons is to make the whole process of animation easier for the artist. Basically, the cells are still hand-drawn, and they digitize them into the computer and use a paint program or something similar to color the pictures, and then they animate it using software programs, usually.
What cartoons are out there that use that method right now?
Well, if you look on MTV, they had a show called Liquid Television that a lot of their avant-garde type of cartoons used computer, actually the same method, or actual 3D rendering, which we're going to be showing you today.
And speaking of which, I understand you've put together a pretty impressive demo for us today. What do you say we see that?
I'm going to try to impress you.
Right.
Today, I'm going to first start off with image editing. Now, I guess what I'll do is change the background and alter the pictures digitally. Let's see, use my magic wand. Change the background of this picture from regular white to a gradient.
What software is this that you're using?
This software, this is PhotoStyler for Windows. It's a really good 24-bit image editing piece of software. It works in 16 million colors at once instead of the regular 256. You can see the quality of the images is much better than VGA, than 256. Very selective, very easy to change things. And there we go.
And this is the Autodesk Animator you're running now?
This is the player for it for Windows.
Okay.
There's Animator Pro and Standard Animator, which is used for creating the actual animations. Pull this one up. Move it around. The rest what we'll do is we can jump into some real animation. This is digital linear keying. where you take a picture or an animation and overlay it on live video.
So you're actually controlling what goes out through the camera.
Yes, I am. You see the PC Voyage, barely, but it's there. And where is, I can hardly see that. There we go. Another animation. See a little vase on the screen.
So it should be said that these things are a little more common in the industry. I mean, a lot of your
Wow.
TV stations and
Yep.
other assorted
You can,
places are doing the same exact thing.
You can use this this particular board to as a character generator also to create text underneath, like if I wanted to put my name here, John Lilly, or your name, and have the camera on you.
So what software are you using to do this now?
This is Autodesk Animator Pro.
Oh, wow.
It's better than the standard animator because mainly because you can use different video drivers for it. The regular animator only uses one driver, it only works on your VGA. The Animator Pro, I can use it on SVGA, on any of the SVGA boards because they're all non-standard, and I can also use it on the Targa board, which is a non-standard board. Let's see. What else have I got here?
So what are you doing for us now here? Is it,
Just showing animation, things that I've created, face talking, something similar to, which was it, Terminator 2? Yeah.
That's what Chip should look like, especially after last week.
yeah,
Yeah. But
poor guy looks like a guppy.
go for it.
Well, that last piece we saw with the face moving is an example of morphing. What it does is it smoothly blends one frame to another so that it actually looks like the face is moving. What we do is we just specify two different positions of the face, and it moves the whole face between those 2 points, or several points if you want, and it creates the illusion of it's talking.
Would that be the same kind of stuff that they used in the Michael Jackson video to go from one person to the other?
Yeah, it's a lower level. It's not as advanced as that. But it is the same concept. The one they used in the Michael Jackson video is a little more. This is graphics animation based. That was live video based morphing.
Can we take the helicopter and have it shoot at Andy as he's...
Yes, yes, definitely. It's one of the beauties of, this is what's called 3D animation, okay, where you actually build an object in three-dimensional space. Normally, your television screen is two-dimensional. You have width and you have height. But in the real world, you have the third dimension, which is depth, okay? Now the computer can simulate that, and you can create objects like this, which is a true 3D object. We made a base, then there's a set of little triangles going up, and you can place a camera, lighting, the type of surface. This is a gray surface with a green type of surface for this, and then animate it, and turn it into an animation. And the computer takes care of drawing all these frames in here. We don't
all
actually,
the shadowing and everything
yes,
else.
all the shadowing and everything. We don't actually physically, sit there and draw this sort of thing. I can hardly draw stick figures. I'm seriously, the computer's a great tool. It makes somebody who's not an artist into an artist. I love it.
Well, that's me. Maybe I should get one.
Yeah. Well, let's try some digital chroma keying.
You left yourself very open there. I could have said something.
Ah, space, the final frontier. I kind
Can we
of,
hit him with the lightning?
I kind of feel
Let's
like,
see if it hits him.
I kind of feel like Isaac Asimov here. You know, can I fly a
There we
kite?
go.
Oh, hey, that
Right
was
through his
close.
head.
Hey, that was real close there.
You must have had a great thought there.
Let's try another one.
Andy, point to something and actually watch Windows work with Andy.
Yeah, here we go. Let's push to this OCR thing here. See, where the hell is it? There it is.
All right, we'll see.
And where am I here?
There we go.
Poke him in the eye here. No.
Now pretend you're the weatherman and explain Windows from there.
All right, over here we have, you see this wonderful little, this is how you close it right here. This is an icon, and this little thing that he's moving around here that I can't seem to catch, oh, that's a cursor. It says, hey, look, wait.
Now this is all being controlled still through Animator, or?
No, this is Windows. Windows 3.1, running on in 16 megs of RAM. No swap file. All right, this is 3D rendering, like
And you guys did all the graphics on this.
most of it.
Most of it, yes.
There's two
If we
pieces
didn't-
that are not. I mean, there, go for it.
All right, here we see a little 386 PC we made. That one went rather quick.
What software was used to make these things?
3D Studio and Autodesk Animator. Those are sole two pieces. AutoCAD helps, but it's not necessary.
What's the difference in price between 3D Studio and Animator?
3D Studio runs something like $3,000, and Animator Pro runs, you can pick it up for about $700.
So if somebody just wanted to
I'd
play
say
around with this a little
Animator.
bit, it's a little bit on the expensive side, but you can get away pretty cheap
You
with
could
the
you
software.
can you can buy standard Animator for like $200.
Okay.
Standard Animator is a good program.
Do you have the ability to tell it where the light's coming from and what angle you want to look
Yes,
at it?
yeah,
And else it does all the work for you?
Yep.
The main-
Colorize the color of the lights, their hue, luminance, saturation. It's extremely controlled. The cameras, you can set up exactly what type of lens the camera has, how it's focused. It's very, very powerful.
See, the main difference between two-dimensional paint and draw programs and three-dimensional renderers is basically the approach they take. With a two-dimensional program, you have your canvas is your screen and you just paint. With a three-dimensional program, you have to actually specify 3 different views of the object you create, and it actually, from these 3 views, it knows exactly what the object looks like from any perspective. And you also create lights, you place your camera wherever you want, and the computer does the rest for you.
Thanks for the demo, guys. What is the cost of the equipment necessary to get the same quality graphics that you've shown here?
Well, altogether, what you see here would run about approximately $10,000.
You got to be really serious to get into this.
Yeah, but you can do things with much cheaper products. If you just had a 386, you could start right out with something real basic like Animator for $200. So you can start very low.
It's nice. It's always nice to have a good place to start. How long have you guys been doing this type of thing?
Animation, I've been working with graphics since I'd say around 8 years.
And I've been around 2 years. I've come in more recently.
Yeah.
And this is a service that you're going to be offering to the, or you offer to the
Yes.
general public?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for joining us this week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if people want to get more information about John or Ted of Lily Labs, they can be contacted at 568-1366. Oh, that was really impressive. There's a lot of other low-end packages out there. In my visiting all the computer stores, you see like Disney Animator and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you know, the idea is if you can be an artist, or the idea is mastering the computer is easy. I think it's being an artist that takes a little while, and just if you're an artist, you can do some pretty impressive things. Just once you acclimate to the computer, it's a piece of cake.
Next up, in stereo here, go ahead.
Chip, with our trivia question.
And after that, Tim Hamlet will be on hand with questions and answers.
There are for this week's computer trivia questions. Number 1. Who founded the Electronic Data Systems Corporation? And number 2. When used with the copy or echo commands, what is the double greater than sign used for?
Welcome back. Did you understand the answers to this week's trivia questions?
Of course.
Yeah, well, this was from one of our staffers. For anybody that doesn't know the answers to the trivia questions, here's one of the answers here. And you thought we weren't timely.
The answer's people?
No. Parrot. I mean Perot.
Will you please announce Tim?
Oh, no, he's just sitting here looking pretty. And now here's Tim Hamlet with questions and answers. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi guys, how you doing? You know, after those graphics that we saw there, you know, my stuff is gonna seem kind of mundane, but
Probably.
but I'm gonna do it anyway. Maybe like that. Okay, the first topic that I'm gonna deal with tonight deals with those always mystifying and often frightening errors of system not found, missing command interpreter, and general boot failure. And they all mean that your system isn't going to boot up. And you say, why does this happen? You know, my system was fine the last time I ran it. Well, the reasons for this happening are varied, but maybe some dust got on your drive, or some mysterious magnetic field like your kids trying out their 5-pound treasure magnet trying to pick up your computer, you know. But whatever the reason, one or more of the three files that is required to boot your system has been corrupted. To correct the problem, you simply take the backup systems disk that you made when you first got your machine. What? You don't have a backup systems disk? Well, and you're out of luck. The first thing you should do when you buy your machine is make a bootable backup floppy, just in case something like this happens. And it can be made by formatting a disk with the /S switch. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, and it's really very simple. You insert your disk into drive A, and you type in format space A:/S. Okay, and what this is going to do is it's going to put the two hidden systems files, bios.com and dos.com, and the command interpreter command.com onto the floppy. In addition to these three files, add a fourth file to this disk, and the name of that file is called sys.com. Okay, now if any of these errors that I mentioned occur, you take this disk and you boot your machine. And what you are then going to do is okay, what you are then going to do is type in sys space C:, and this will apply the systems disk files to your root directory of your C drive. Okay, then you boot up your machine and you make sure everything is working fine. One thing I should mention, though, is when you boot off of the floppy, before copying the system back into the root directory, check your other directories to make sure everything looks normal. Because if it doesn't, chances are you've acquired a virus, and should take the proper precautions to rid your system of it before you go and restore your system. Otherwise, you're going to get these errors again eventually. The second thing I'm going to talk about tonight is memory. If you want to expand the memory capacity of your system, there are some things you have to watch for. I've seen too many people go to computer fairs and purchase memory chips that aren't compatible with their system or their existing memory. There are 5 different types of memory: simulated page mode, fast page mode, static column, and nibble mode. Okay, these types are not all mixable or interchangeable, and doing so can result in damage to your system. 3 types of processes are used in manufacturing memory chips: MOS, CMOS, and NMOS. These are not normally interchangeable or mixable and could cause parity errors or system failures. In each type of memory, there are 3 different data storage timing lengths called the data hold time. Having chips with different data hold timing can cause parity errors or system failures. Refresh rates. There are also different types of memory refresh rates used, and the different types aren't normally mixable. And the last thing you need to know is the speed of your chips. Most people look at the chip to find the speed, but the correct speed is found on the back of the PC board after the part number. Most manufacturers put their name, part number, and the operating speed on the PC board. If these things aren't on the board, then you're buying a really off-the-wall brand and you're buying at your own risk. Best go with one that has the name on there so you know who to contact if anything goes wrong. The best suggestion I can make is that if you want more memory in your system, get the part number and the speed off of the PC board, or just bring the board to your favorite dealer and have the new chips matched to these. That way you're going to be sure that they work. That's all I have for you tonight, guys.
Well, great, Tim. You know, I was wondering, did you get some of these questions from firsthand experience?
Yes, I did. I ran into a missing systems error about a month or so ago, and it baffled me at first, but then I just kept my head and went through the procedure and got out my bootable floppy and put the system back on, and everything was fine.
No, I meant the 50-pound magnet.
Oh. No.
You know, for any people who send Tim questions, and I hope you're getting an awful lot of these, Tim, we've got a plethora, ooh, big word, 1980s word. You're a little behind the times here.
Whatever.
A lot of software that we're going to be, never looked better, that we're going to be giving away. Central Point PC Tools, Prodigy,
Windows, Microsoft Windows 3.1, and X-Tree Gold.
So remember, send your questions to Tim, and here's Chip to give you our address.
Here are this week's computer trivia answers. Number 1. The Electronic Data Systems Corporation was founded by H. Ross Perot. And number 2. The double greater than sign is used to append or add data to a file.
Hello and welcome back.
You know, Rennie, I think we should definitely get more fan mail along with all those questions and answers too. We really need the questions. I mean, come on, you got hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of software here that we're just going to give to you as a consequence of mailing in your questions.
Can I give you a chance to open up for Jim, and that's all you can talk about?
Yeah.
Let's get right to Jim. Well, here's Jim Dokes with Bits and PCs.
Hello, Andy and Rainey. This evening I'm going to be discussing the prompt command. And in order to do this evening, I'm going to run a little batch file here as the demonstration for this. Okay, the first part of the prompt command, I'm going to talk about these characters that go along with the prompt first. Whenever you type in a prompt on your screen, after you type in the command prompt, you always use the $ and the command that goes with it. The $ kind of activates is the activator for to tell the machine that the next character it sees it's going to execute as the prompt. And this first one, what it does is it sets up the character equal. The next one generates a $ on the screen. The T command here generates the time. The D command will generate the date. Our P command is going to give us the current directory. The V command gives us a version number of the DOS you're using. The N command will give you the default drive. The G command will give you the greater than sign. The L will give you the less than sign. B, this is the pipe command, the pipe character that's on your keyboard. The slash after the $ will give you a line feed and a carriage return. The E generates an escape command that's used in more advanced prompt commands, and we won't get too much into that. The H command generates a backspace so that you can actually delete your prompt right off the screen. Okay, next what I'm going to do is we're going to demonstrate just the straight prompt command. Now down here, it returns just the C with the greater than sign, if you just generate a prompt on the screen. In the next command, we're going to add, this gives us the current directory or subdirectory along with it, and we're in the DOS directory right now. So what it's doing is it's showing you that we're in the DOS directory with this, with the P. Then the G, so it gives it the greater than sign. You can also add in characters into your prompt. So I've added a dash into the, to make it look like an arrow out here. Okay. The next DOS command is, the T command returns the time. The D command will give you the date. The P and G now, okay, right here I've added a slash, $slash, so that it gives us a carriage return, so that the time and date is on one line and your prompt is on the next line. This is so if you wanted to, each time you generate your prompt now, you'll get the time and date. And we'll go just a little further with this. Okay, what I've done in this line is I've taken the V, the $V, which will now give us the version. I've added in a carriage return. The time and date is now on the next line. I put a space in between the time and date so that it spaces it out. And I've added in the P and G command. So that generates your prompt.
Well, thanks, Jim.
That's the end of my discussion.
We'd like to thank John and Ted Lilly from Lilly Labs for their excellent graphics presentation.
That's a mouthful, tongue twister.
Thank you.
And Jim Delks with Bits and PCs, and Tim Hamlet with Questions and Answers.
And I'm Rainey Laviolette.
And I'm Andy Doty. Until next time.